Well, welcome to this week's Time Out Tuesday, which is called How Long? A question I think we have all asked many times throughout our lives. Well, one of my favorite Bible verses is Isaiah 40:31, mainly because it contains wonderful promises and is very encouraging. It says, "But those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Now, the word wait at the beginning of the verse can be translated hope or trust, and many translations of Scripture use that word. To wait on God's timing is to trust Him or believe that He will work the situation out in the right way and at the right time. That takes patience and a whole lot of faith. To wait on God is not simply to mark time, kind of like standing at a bus stop waiting for that bus. It's to live in confident expectation of His action on our behalf. Confident expectation. It is to refuse to run ahead of Him in trying to solve our problems for ourselves. Oh boy, does that one sound familiar to this girl. Biblically, I think of Sarah and Abraham. Now, Abraham was promised that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars in heaven. And yet, they had been trying to conceive for many years, even before this promise was made, to no avail. And so how could this be? They were not spring chickens. After many years, good old Sarah came up with her own plan. She would give her personal servant, Hagar, to her husband, Abraham, as his concubine. Sarah's plan worked in that Hagar did become pregnant, but shortly after news of Hagar's pregnancy, Sarah and Hagar's relationship turned sour, and Hagar ran away into the desert. Well, Sarah did eventually conceive, and at the age of 90, gave birth to her son Isaac, just as God had promised would happen. Even then, relations between Sarah and her son and Hagar and her son were not good, all because Sarah and Abraham took matters into their own hands. They did not trust in God's capability and certainly not in His timing. Well, did this story hit home with any of you? Probably not the pregnancy part, but the tired of waiting, let's take matters into my own hands and help things along, that part. Well, honestly, can't you understand Sarah's position? Abraham was 75 years old and Sarah 65 when God told them to leave their home and promised to make them into a great nation. 3 more times the Lord appeared to Abraham and promised him a son through Sarah. They were already seemingly too old, and yet God waited 25 more years. Now, that certainly puts things in perspective for me when I've been praying and waiting and waiting and praying and praying and waiting. I'm reminded of the days when my children were young and we were getting ready for vacation or waiting for Christmas or a birthday. The wait for them seemed endless, and so did the questions of, is it here yet? Is it time? They had nothing to do but wait, so I would always try to come up with things to give them to do to keep them busy and kind of pass that time along. Well, God gave Abraham and Sarah plenty to do to serve Him during their time of waiting, and so He does for us too. 1 Corinthians, we read, "Therefore, my brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain." So today's challenge for all of us is to look back and remember all of the times that the Lord has been faithful to us in our life. The job that just came out of nowhere, the medical test that we knew was not good news but came back perfect, the teenager that came home safe after being way past his curfew, the loved one who finally put his faith in Jesus at the age of 56. It was the case of my brother, or 66 or 76. Take comfort in him. Trust him in his provision and his timing. That's the tough one. And while we are waiting on the Lord, let's keep busy in his work. If we but ask, he will be faithful to provide that for us also. And that, my friends, is this week's Time Out Tuesday. And I do hope to see you all next week. God bless you all.